Hello and happy Wednesday, everyone. I hope your week is going well. I've had a crazy but good week. As I mentioned on Monday, I was in Dallas to do a special episode with Texas Wine and True Crime, which turned out to be so much fun. We're going to have to do it again. And Chris Diamond made some amazing food. And we covered a case in Austin that has shocked everyone that lives in the Austin area. Now, you can go and listen to that episode. It will drop on all of the podcast apps this afternoon on the True Crime and Wine Time page. So, if you're interested, we would love to see your support there. And in case you're new here, I am Teri True Crime, and welcome to another episode of Midday Missing, where we shine light on current missing person cases. Now, True Crime and Wine Time Productions is now TCWT Media, and we are dedicated to bringing you compelling true crime content along with other content in a safe and supportive community. Under the TCWT Media umbrella, we produce a wide range of shows, including the True Crime and Wine Time, our flagship podcast, the Hey Ho Show, the investigation into the disappearance of Chase Lackey, Night Court, the transcripts, Women on Death Row, and my newest series, Dearest Mother's Darkest Secrets, and of course, Midday Missing. But guys, stay tuned because in the new year, we have more series coming. Some are true crime focused, some are not. So we are adding a little bit of something for everyone. And we do stream live several days a week. We also drop videos throughout the week. So you want to make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel. It is completely free. So that way you do not miss out on any of our updates or our live shows. And for those of you who want more content and to support our work, consider becoming a TCWT Media channel member. We have different levels, but membership includes early access to select shows and episodes before anyone else, exclusive content like behind the scenes footage, bonus episodes, and member only live chats. We also have special badges and emojis to use during our live streams and in comments. And that lets everyone know that you are part of the TCWT family. And to join, you simply click the join button on our YouTube channel page. And your support means the world to us, and it helps us continue creating the content that we and that you love. Now, today's cases are, as always, heartbreaking. So get ready. Now, one of our cases today is that of a family searching for answers for over 2 decades. Okay. It is the case of Damon Justin Bonds, who is a 31-year-old man who disappeared under suspicious circumstances in Anchorage, Alaska in 2004. Damon was last seen on March 27th, 2004. That day, he spent times with friends just hanging out there in Anchorage. And everyone describes Damon as laid back, kind hearted man who has a deep love for his family and for his dog. And you know, guys, I'm a sucker for dogs. So his dog is Scully. And it's no secret to anyone that knew Damon that he had a strong connection to those he loved. And he regularly called his family, kept in touch with everybody, and that includes his infant son. And he never went anywhere without Scully, who was his Labrador retriever mix. But guys, after March 27th, Damon has not been heard from again. Now, 4 days later, on March 31st, Damon's truck, which is a black and gray 1995 Ford F-250 XLT, was found in a parking lot near DeLong Lake, which is on the 6300 block of Jewel Lake Road. Now, first thing when I read that, I'm like, why is it Jewel Lake Road when he was near DeLong Lake? Shouldn't it be DeLong Lake or should the lake road be called? I don't know. Makes my brain hurt. But the truck doors were unlocked. His cell phone was left on the front seat. But most disturbingly, Scully, his dog, was found in the bed of the truck under the canopy. And this scene immediately raised red flags for Damon's friends and family. Damon adored Scully, and he would never have left her behind, let alone in a truck for days. They said it wasn't just the dog that anchored him. Damon had an infant son that he cherished. And like I said, he was recently in regular contact with his family. His family reported him missing, and soon after, a large search effort was launched. The Anchorage Police Department, along with a cadaver dog, scoured the area near DeLong Lake where his truck had been found. But there were no signs of Damon, no clues, no leads. And guys, I often say people cannot just disappear without a trace. There's not aliens, but a parking lot near a lake, I'm going to probably go out on a limb and say they don't have cameras. Now, they should have cameras because things happen there. So if you're a person, but to this day, there are more questions than answers. Like I said, despite their best efforts, they have found no evidence regarding what happened to him. And there is no evidence that he left Anchorage, Alaska, or at least not by air that they can find. Local airlines have no record of him flying out under his name. Damon had lived in Anchorage for about 5 years, but he was originally from Deer Park, California, and his family lived in Houston, Texas. And their belief was and is firm. Damon would not have left without contacting them. So, what happened to Damon? The circumstances seem strange and very troubling to me. Some suspect that foul play was involved in his disappearance, but to this day, there is no concrete evidence to confirm it. Now, guys, I want to say I did not find anything saying he had ever suffered from mental health issues, not saying he didn't have a mental break that day, but he would not have left Scully behind and would not have locked her in the canopy of the truck. So I am one of those who suspect foul play. Okay. But Damon's family has spent the last 20 years searching for answers, hoping for closure, but sadly, they continue to live with the unknown. The investigation has remained open, but as time passes, we all know it becomes more challenging to uncover what really happened that day in March. Investigators do note there were no obvious signs of a struggle around Damon's truck, and they agree the presence of his dog Scully further complicates the situation. I am going to guess that Scully was locked in the back of the canopy because whoever did something to Damon didn't want to deal with the dog. Because I bet you Scully was pretty protective of her owner. But guys, how could Damon vanish so completely without leaving behind any trace of what happened to him? And remember, his cell phone was left behind. And it's cases like Damon's that are both heartbreaking and baffling. I just don't know. How does someone disappear, leaving everything behind, their belongings, a pet, but most importantly, their family and an infant? And this family loved him. For Damon's loved ones, and especially that son who has had to grow up without their father, this leaves them with answers. The pain and this uncertainty continues to haunt them and will haunt them forever or until they get answers. So, if you have any information regarding the disappearance of Damon Justice Bonds, no matter how small or insignificant it may seem, even if it's just a rumor. Please contact the Alaska State Troopers at 907 269 5511. Remember, any piece of information could piece together this decades old puzzle. It is just that one little tidbit of information that can just solve it and put it all together. Now, our next haunting case comes from the city of Tampa, Florida. So, for over 40 years, the disappearance of a little girl with a bright spirit who was affectionately called Firecracker by those who knew her. Guys, I love that. I love that. I have never heard anyone I call my granddaughter Monkey Butt. I love Firecracker. Tells you a lot about this little girl. So, this is the story of Jennifer Sophia Marteliz. She's been missing since November 15th, 1982. Guys, I was 12 and I am now 54. I want you to stop and think before I get into this. This little girl was 7 years old when she vanished. 7. I was 12, just 5 years older. Imagine looking at me. Her family doesn't know what happened to their 7-year-old girl. Her story is one of pure heartbreak, confusion, and as we know all too often, unanswered questions. So today we're going to explore what we know, who the suspects are, and what investigators believe might have happened. On the afternoon of November 15th, 1982, Jennifer was walking home from school in Tampa, Florida. Yes, guys, back in that day, we did that. I walked to school. Of course, my elementary was right next door to our house, but kids walked to school. She was a second grader at Lassie C. Shaw Elementary School, and she was known for being well behaved and a good student. Guys, I was a good student, but I'm not sure I was well behaved because I got in trouble for talking all the time. And when the teacher moved me up front to sit by her, I still got in trouble for talking to her. I am sure no one watching this is surprised. Now, at around 3:53 p.m., Jennifer was last seen just 1 block away from her home on 15th Street. She was so close, guys, so close to being in the safety of her home. Jennifer had asked a friend to keep an eye on her as she made her way down the block, but her friend looked away for one moment and Jennifer vanished, and she has never been seen again. Guys, back in 1982, we didn't have Ring doorbell cameras. We didn't have cell phones. We did not have the technology that we have today. Now, that day, Jennifer went to school wearing a pink or orange knee length dress with yellow flowers, maroon ballet shoes, and a gold necklace. She also was wearing heart shaped gold post earrings, a comb with ribbons and flowers in her hair, and silver glitter on her peach colored fingernail polish. So, girl, she was a firecracker. She was also, it sounds like, a girly girl. I like her. But most distinctively, Jennifer had moles on her chest, collarbone, and her face. Her front teeth were crooked and chipped, and she had a noticeable cleft in her chin. And she walked pigeon toed, and one of her shoulders was lower than the other. So, very distinct appearance. As we all know, her disappearance totally rocked that community. It sent shockwaves. A little girl only 1 block away from her home, simply gone in the blink of an eye. Her friend looked away for just a moment and Jennifer was gone. Jennifer's parents were divorced in 1982, and she lived with her father and her stepmother, though her mother, Catherine Longo, had legal custody. She did live with her dad and her stepmom. And according to reports, Jennifer did not have a good relationship with her stepmother, and tension between the father's and the mother's side of the family were high. I mean, it would be. Divorced families, I was not a child of divorce, but my children were. It's complicated. And if the adults cannot adult and put the best interests of the child first, it can be complicated. So, members of her mother's family even considered removing Jennifer from her father's home before she disappeared. Don't know more about that. It could just be that Jennifer didn't get along with her stepmother. Both sides of the family initially pointed fingers at each other, each suspecting the other of hiding Jennifer. Guys, that sounds far fetched, but it happens all of the time. There was just recently an Amber Alert in Texas where a non custodial dad took the child and was trying to hide the child because the mom got remarried. It happens. So don't think that that's uncommon, that you each point the finger at each other. But as the investigation continued, law enforcement ruled out all of her relatives as suspects. That means her mom's family and her dad's family were not involved. And for police to come out and say that, you know, they know without a shadow of a doubt. But instead, attention shifted towards a family friend, someone with a very dark and troubled past. His name was Thomas Peter Welnicki, and Thomas had a long criminal history, including charges for theft, drug possession, and assault. Investigators became interested in him when he made a chilling claim. He said he had a psychic vision about Jennifer's abduction and murder. Now, if you follow true crime for a while, you know that a lot of time the perpetrators put themselves into the investigation. That raises the red flags for law enforcement. Now, he said in this vision, he claimed that Jennifer had been kidnapped by two men. He said one of the men was in his 40s with a criminal history. The other was a blonde man in his mid 20s, and that it was someone Jennifer knew and trusted. Now, Nikki went on to say that the younger man had been deeply troubled by guilt after the child's death. Guys, what's eerie? Welnick himself bore a resemblance to the description of the blonde man he described. Okay, guys, little sus, right? Police begin to suspect Welnicki's so called vision might have actually been a confession. They gave him a polygraph test, which he failed. And we all know polygraph tests cannot be used in a court of law. They are not 100% reliable. However, they do give you some indications of people's honesty. However, Welnicki argued that his failure of the polygraph test was due to the medication he was taking for seizures, which I find interesting because most seizure medicine slows you down, kind of like a Xanax, a Valium. It soothes you to try to keep your body calm. Maybe there are some other seizure medications that make you more anxious, but I had a friend in school who took medication and her seizure medication calmed her. So I don't know what he's thinking there, but despite law enforcement's suspicions, authorities were never able to gather enough evidence to formally charge him in connection with her disappearance. Her case has remained unsolved for over 4 decades. Now, her mother, Catherine, never stopped searching for her daughter. And in 2011, she published a book titled Jennifer, Where Are You? Detailing her personal journey through the agony of not knowing what happened to her little girl. Guys, I want you, if you want to support her mom and want to know more of what families go through, I'm going to recommend you read the book. Go to the library, see if they have it. Go on Amazon, go to used books, read it. Because one thing I have learned with talking to these families, I talked to one just yesterday, that the agony of not knowing is pure hell and something those of us who haven't gone through it truly can't understand. I like to think that I understand maybe 2% of what it would feel like after getting so close to Chase's family. But guys, 2% is nothing. So authorities have continued to pursue leads over the years, but none have brought them any closer to answers. Jennifer would be 49 years old today, and her disappearance remains classified as a non family abduction. And guys, the thing we're learning about missing person cases, we have so many more questions than we do answers. Now, like I said, Jennifer was a bright, bubbly child named Firecracker because she had a lively personality. She deserved to grow up and to experience life and to be with her family. Yet, all of that was taken from her in an instant. And what I want you also to remember, it's not just Jennifer who suffers. It is every member of her family, the community, and her classmates. Think of the friend who she asked to watch her while she walked home. What does she live with every day? The guilt. What about her classmates who now see an empty desk every day in the classroom? And they had to graduate high school, go off to college, get married, and their friend has never been found. So I don't want you to think the missing person is the only one that this affects. And I want you to remember this case and all that we cover are a chilling reminder that even the most innocent can be touched by darkness. If you have any information about Jennifer Sophia Marteliz or her whereabouts, no matter how small, please contact the Tampa Police Department at 813-273-0770. And remember, you can make an anonymous report to fbi.gov/tips, even if they are not looking into the case. A lot of people don't know that. You can still put in an anonymous tip. You know, if you are a friend or a daughter, a family member of a person who is always interested in what happened to Jennifer, and you kind of always have this little gut feeling, call in a tip, do it anonymously. Because every tip, every clue brings us one step closer to bringing Jennifer home and giving her family the answers that they deserve. Also, going to ask you, please share the missing person flyers from our social media for Damon and Jennifer. Just sharing them and asking your followers to share them help gets the word out. So please be sure to do that. Now, I don't have a story for you today to end with. I thought I would do something a little different. Okay, so it's nothing cute, no tips. So, if you have followed me for even a short amount of time, you know that I love the color pink. And one of my life quotes is I believe in pink. I believe that laughing is the best calorie burner. I believe in kissing and kissing a lot. I believe in being strong when everything seems to be going wrong. Guys, when I found this quote from Audrey Hepburn, I fell in love with it. Why? Because it spoke volumes about who I am and what I believe. And if I wrote a life quote, that's what it would be. So people often ask me if I like the color pink. And I say no. I am pink, and I believe pink is the only color. So, and if you Google what does the color pink mean, you will see that it means love, romance, femininity, pink, trust, and happiness. And all of which are words that I hope can describe me and my personality. I fell in love with the color pink when I was a little girl. And I remember the day my parents agreed that I could have my childhood bedroom pink. Guys, it was pink up until my mama bear passed away. And my nephew and his family now lives in it. I don't know if the walls are still pink, but pink became even more to me when I was diagnosed with breast cancer. And as a survivor, I embrace the color pink even more. And I have had the honor of walking in 3 different Susan Komen 60 miles in 3 days. All 3 of them, I walked with one of my besties, and in 1 year, I walked with my son, my bestie, and what we called Teri's Tata tribe, and we did it in San Francisco that year. And I will tell you, my son, Jeffa, learned you do not wanna do 60 miles in flip-flops because in San Francisco, we had to walk up hills, down hills, and he learned a lesson. But I believe that by surviving cancer 3 times that I've learned how to be stronger, kinder, and more grateful. And I've also learned that feeling sorry for yourself does happen, and that is okay. It is okay to have a pity party for yourself every now and then, but you can't let it consume you because each day that we wake up is another day that we get to live life and we get to be with our loved ones. We get to tell them that we love them. That is a miracle. So it's okay to feel sorry for yourself sometimes. Absolutely. And anyone tells you it's not, tell them Teri True Crime said go fly a kite. Now, it is October and it's that time of the year for cozy sweaters, falling leaves, except in Texas where it's going to be 92 degrees today. Okay. And of course, everything pumpkin spice from lattes to candles, if you're a pumpkin spice lover. I am not, but October is more than just fall flavors. It's also Breast Cancer Awareness Month. And like I said, this month is very especially close to my heart. And like I said, been a fan of pink since childhood, but now it means even more to me. So while we're enjoying the pumpkin spice and everything fall, let's take a moment to reflect and support those impacted by breast cancer. Wear pink, spread awareness. Yes, happy girls are the prettiest girls. You're absolutely right, Sammy. And if you haven't already done so, schedule that checkup. Okay. It's all part of making a real difference. And guys, it's not just females who need to get a breast cancer check. Okay. Men get breast cancer. Every human being has breast fatty tissue. Breast tissue can get cancer cells. Doesn't matter, male, female, you need to get checked. Okay. Now, and for the horror fans, let's not forget that today, October 23rd, the day this is live, is National Horror Movie Day. Okay. So it's the perfect excuse to grab your favorite scary flicks and enjoy the chills of the season. Now, I have to tell y'all, I saw the movie Smile when it came out, and it was the first horror movie ever that has stayed with me. It truly freaked me out. Every now and then, I'll look at Double H and go, "If you haven't seen Smile, you'll understand once you see it." Now, I will say bravely, I will be watching the sequel soon with Double H. So, whether you're streaming a classic or finding a new fright, there's no better time for a spooky movie marathon. So, as you sip that pumpkin spice latte, or in my case, a glass of wine, or maybe a dirty martini, watch your horror movie and rock your pink. Let's honor the importance of breast cancer awareness this month. It's a season for fun, scares, and meaningful support. So let's make it count. Okay. And I want to thank you all for joining me today. I hope to see you again next Monday for another episode of Midday Missing. Now, I will be joining the Hey Ho show on Friday night because I need to be a part of that absolute craziness that JT, Llama, and Rude Boy, and they have asked me to join them. And I have to say, I'm kind of looking forward to it. So don't forget, you can also join our Facebook group. Follow us on all social media channels to stay connected, be a part of the conversation. If you go to the TCWT Media website, you can find all of our social media channels listed there. You can find me under Teri True Crime on all the platforms and JT Brew Crime. And remember, you can catch all of our shows right here on YouTube. Some of our shows are also on Facebook, but not all of them. But everything is here on YouTube. Also, you can listen to our podcast on your favorite podcast platform. Remember, the True Crime and Wine Time special I did will drop today. So please go give it a listen. Would love to know your thoughts on it. And as always, guys, until next time, stay safe, watch out for crime, and enjoy your wine time, especially because it's Wine Wednesday. Bye, guys. I will see you soon.